everyone, and welcome to your favorite online news show, Erongo Talk. My name is Leandria Lowe, and today we join you from the Walvis Bay waterfront. Now, although we find ourselves in Walvis Bay, today we are focusing on Omaruru. Now, the mayor of the town, there is Roger Nautoro, talks about the development 2021-2022 budget of the town, the processes involved in implementing this budget, and the sources of funding for the town. So, as usual, we also bring you the latest news, the weather and tides. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. And now it is time for your news. Now, a case of theft is being investigated after a security guard allegedly stole $300,000 in cash from the company he works for. Now, the suspect has been identified as Ricardo Omaruru, who is 35 years old. Now, according to a crime report, Omaruru and some colleagues booked out money from Bank Windhoek in Swakopmund to refill ATMs. Then they departed to Ocean View Spa. Upon their arrival, Omaruru remained in the vehicle to guard the remaining cash that was intended for an Aranda's ATM while his colleagues refilled the ATM. But upon their return to the car, they realized that Omaruru was gone with the money. Now, this was said by Erongo Police Regional Commander for Community Affairs, that is Inspector Heleni Shapumba. Now, anyone with information is urged to contact the police. You can find the numbers on our website. That's at www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na on who you can contact if you have seen Omaruru or if you've heard anything. Now, secondly, Reimer von Haase was inducted as the new president of the Rotary Club Swakopmund RSC. Now, von Haase, who previously served as a Rotarian in South Africa, said that his experience serving in the RSC has been memorable. Of all the clubs I have been involved with, the members of this particular club impressed me the most. Now, what I saw and what I experienced, the commitment and the number of projects that this club has undertaken is enormous and remarkable, the new president said. Now, a new tradition was introduced on the occasion as the president was awarded a Rotary's President's Badge. Now, von Haase takes over from former President Philip Oosthuizen. And now, finally, for some sport news. Now, the Namibian Premier League soccer side Blue Waters overcame a stubborn Southern Stream First Division contender Western Spurs with a 6-5 in a sudden death penalty shootout. Now, the two coastal sides met in an MTC NFA Cup round of 16 encounter and was spurred on by soccer-hungry fans at Jan Wilkins Stadium in Walvis Bay. Now, Western Spurs entered the match as underdogs against the much-fancied Beautiful Birds, featuring the likes of former Brave Warriors striker Hendrik Somyp as captain. But you can head on over to our website, that's www.erongo.com.na, to read exactly how this game went down. Now, other MTC NFA Cup round 16 results are Kushe defeated Nosop 4-2, Mighty Gunners defeated New Poison 6-2, Tigers defeated Super 11 3-0, Young African defeated Ongangwena Nampo 5-4 on penalties, and then the Young Brazilians defeated Black Africa 4-0. But like I said, you can read this and so much more on our website, that's www.erongo.com.na. Please stay tuned.
Honorable Mayor, you've recently announced your budget for the 2021-2022 financial year.
Yes.
Could you expand on that, please?
Yes, we have a total budget of 27,141,043 Namibian dollars, of which we have the own fund, which is our own budget. That one is the internal funding from our revenue that we are going to collect in terms of rates and taxes. We are looking at the external funding. External funding, this includes from external sources such as the financial institutions. This also includes funding from the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, MTEF funding. Funding from the RFA, the Road Funders Association, because when we are doing the repair and the maintenance of the roads, we claim refund from RFA. So that is how the budget is apportioned.
Mm-hmm. What is different from this budget compared to previous budgets?
One fundamental aspect that one should name or should mention is that in the past, councils used to budget on estimates where you can put a lot of goodies that you want to achieve at the end of the day, even though you do not have the funding. But antithetically, there has been Directive 21, April 2021, that directed us to have a critical budget, of which you budget on the actuals, you budget on or subject to the availability of funds. So that is the difference. So automatically, what has happened is that for the now moment, the budget has been, it has diminished. Slightly, it is slightly diminished compared to the previous fiscal years due to that directive, and it gives us it's a challenge because part of the directives from the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Honorable Erastus Otoni, is that for you to be able to execute certain projects, you need to imply and apply leadership where you're going to generate more funds from the sales of errands, for example. We need or we should capitalize on the sales of errands in order for us to regenerate that fund into other projects that have been budgeted. And should we deplete whatever we have budgeted for, the Minister has already or has also in the same directive given us the mandate to apply for a supplementary budget, which means that if you sell land and you get and then your revenue augments, then you can subject to availability of funds, you can then apply for a supplementary budget authorization. However, we should take cognizance of the fact that the law, the Local Authority Act number 23 of 1992, it enshrines that the minister authorized. Council approves in consultation. You go through consultations with the regional councils. From there, you send to the minister for authorization.
In terms of delivery, what does this mean for your residents?
It is a mammoth task due to the fact that you are permitted by law to, because the budget for you to implement fully, it is subject to ministerial authorization. Now, if the minister is not, because mind me, the minister is not only responsible for Omaruru, the minister is responsible entirely for the whole local authorities in the motherland, in the Republic of Namibia. So it is a cumbersome process for him to go through into detail of all the municipals' budgets and so on. So it might take a little bit long, and some of the people might call it politics or bureaucracy, but however, we need to be cognizant of the fact that it's not only one town or one municipality, but it's all. And however, when it comes to service delivery, there is always a delay because you cannot do anything without, you cannot drive a car without the license, you see. So it's the same thing. We cannot implement something that has not been authorized. So, however, we are given a certain percentage of which, from a budgeted item, you can spend a certain percentage while you are waiting for the authorization.
Okay, thank you, sir.
USS Herschel Woody Williams is really pleased to be in this port and to be able to come in pierside and test our ability to make future visits. Ship is the first ship assigned to U.S. Africa Command's area of responsibility. This is a testament to the United States' commitment of being ready and willing partner with Namibia, as well as other coastal African nations, in promoting a healthy maritime environment and security. Namibia has been a steady participant in the annual Obigame Express exercise, whose objective is to increase multilateral communication and security against our mutual maritime threats. Meeting and working alongside our African partners during this deployment has been an enriching experience, where we have learned not only how to operate at sea together, but discuss solutions for West Africa's maritime security issues.
We are very much honored that this large vessel from the United States Navy is here paying a courtesy, and we think that it has put Walvis Bay port in the map, the navigation map of the world. Perhaps there are people who do not know very well about Walvis Bay, or they have not paid attention to the capabilities of our port and our port managers and our Navy here. I think the presence of this vessel will send a clear message to everyone to say, no matter how large your vessel is, Walvis Bay is ready for you.
And now it is time for your weather and tides for all the major towns here in the Erongo region.
Weather for today: Walvis Bay expects a maximum temperature of 19 degrees Celsius with a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a south-southwesterly direction at about 19 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 6 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 3 minutes to 7 tonight. Swakopmund expects a maximum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius for today with a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a southwesterly direction at about 15 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 6 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 3 minutes to 7 tonight. Henties Bay expects a maximum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius for today with a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a southerly direction at about 17 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 5 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 2 minutes to 7 tonight. Arandas expects a maximum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius for today with a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a south-southwesterly direction at about 11 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 8 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 5 minutes to 7 tonight. Osakos expects a maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius for today with a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a southeasterly direction at about 7 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 10 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 7 minutes to 7 tonight. Karibib expects a maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius for today with a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a north-northwesterly direction at about 9 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 11 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 8 minutes to 7 tonight. Omaruru expects a maximum temperature of 35 degrees Celsius for today with a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius for tomorrow. The wind is expected in a southerly direction at about 9 kilometers per hour. Sunrise was this morning at 12 minutes to 7 and sunset is expected at 8 minutes to 7 tonight.
Unfortunately, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk, but you can always head on over to our website. That's www.erongo.com.na. That's www.erongo.com.na. You can also follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram, and you can get in contact with us at 0811 7040. That's 0811 7040 on both WhatsApp and Telegram. You can let us know what's happening in your town, or that is your go-to number when you want to advertise with us. It's a lovely day here in Walvis Bay, so we wish you a lovely day. Until tomorrow, goodbye.